Who is Israel Adesanya?
I was an outsider, and then I tried to fit in, but I wasn't meant to fit in.
Israel Adesanya has found himself under fire for trash talking.
I have to make him understand what's going to keep him focused is his love for the sport.
You're not gonna beat me. I'm prepared to die. And I meant that, man. I swear to God on my life.
You too skinny, bro!
In the realm of mixed martial arts, Israel Adesanya, the last style bender, has etched an era defined by unmatched skill and charisma. As he contemplates his future, the question looms, is this the end of a captivating...
I hope all of you can feel how happy I am just one time in your life. But guess what? You will never feel this level of happiness if you don't go for something in your own life. When they knock you down, when they try on you, when they talk about you, and they try to put their foot on your neck. If you stay down, you will never ever get that resolve. Fortify your mind and feel this level of happiness as you rise. One time in your life, but I'm blessed to be able to feel this again and again and again and again and again.
Obviously, I'm a Giant fan. That Stylebender fight, how crazy was that?
I am the Black Dragon.
Seeing a guy like this that was a top-flight kickboxer.
The last Stylebender, Adesanya!
I ain't no hype job, but I'm all hype.
Let me tell you something. When a star like Israel Adesanya says he wants something, he usually gets it.
The legacy I want to live. I think I want to be immortal. I don't know if it's my ego or I'm selfish or what it is. I don't know. I don't know. But I know when it's all said and done, when I'm dead, my name will be remembered in history. The best crowd is you guys on YouTube. I really appreciate it because you guys take your time, sit down, watch a 8-minute or 20-minute video. So thank you. Keep watching. Just stay tuned. Keep watching. We got some more coming for your ass. But yeah, stay tuned and thank you for being on this ride with me. If you want to get off, you can get off. We're staying on. I'm not leaving.
Oldest of 5 sons, Israel Adesanya was born to Oluwafemi in Taiwo in Lagos, Nigeria, where he lived for some time before his parents decided to send him all the way to Rotorua, New Zealand.
Do you like New Zealand?
I love New Zealand, man. Like, there was a time I was driving down from Auckland to Whanganui, rapping, singing, just having fun, and I was just looking at the landscape, and that was the moment I decided that this is where I'm going to stay.
At the young age of only 10, he tried to fulfill his parents' dream of providing him with a well-recognized higher education. Little did they know their son had no interest in sports nor studies.
But I wasn't the most academically gifted kid. I'm smart, but I'm smart in different ways. Yeah.
He was tall and skinny, sure, but he wasn't much of an athlete. The most he dabbled in sports was after school taekwondo back in Nigeria.
I started in taekwondo when I was a kid, just because after school programs and it was fun.
And a mild interest in table tennis that improved his hand-eye coordination. What really caught his attention was the action-packed and thrilling world of anime. Even now, after all these years of fame, Adesanya is a nerd at heart.
What is this anime series, Naruto?
There's a famous anime worldwide, and I got into it by watching the Rock Lee versus Gaara fight.
Take a look at all the tattoos of his most beloved characters and the way he incorporates classic anime moments into his fights.
So even at the weigh-ins, when I hit the Rock Lee stance, that was the one I hit.
It doesn't take much to know what his main source of inspiration is. However, young Adesanya didn't have those anime heroes to protect him in real life when he was being bullied in high school.
This kid who kept on riding by my house on a Saturday and would just like hurl insults at me and like, go back to your country, blackanese.
I would take the long way. I would, like a rat or mouse, I would scurry along the edges of the school so I don't get fucked with.
You'd expect a nerdy kid like that to just roll with the punches, right? But this is Adesanya we're talking about. He decided to learn martial arts and throw some back instead. With Jackie Chan being his inspiration for martial arts and Tony Jaa Inong Bak inspiring him to take up Muay Thai, aka the art of 8 limbs, Adesanya came to realize what his true calling was.
Found Ong Bak did the Tony Jaa film, 2008, and I was about 18. And I was like, yo, this is cool. I don't know what this is. And then I found out it was Muay Thai.
2 years after enrolling in a Bachelor of Science in Computer Design at the Universal College of Learning in Wanganui, he decided to drop out and pursue a career in kickboxing. However, his charm and self-confidence is credited to something entirely different. In high school, Adesanya learned how he could use his talents to change how others perceived and felt about him. He decided to try out for a school talent show. No, it wasn't kickboxing related. It was, if you can believe it, a dance number to a Michael Jackson song. He performed through the full 6 minutes and 3 seconds of it, and by the end of it, he had the crowd going wild.
My first time I got street cred was being a dance for like the school talent quest, and I came out to want to be starting something by Michael Jackson. And I did this wave from here to here, and I remember the whole school just erupted because I was popping like crazy. They were just like, we had no idea this kid could move like this.
This made Adesanya realize very early in life that dance would be a big part of his life. Fast forward a few years, equipped with a killer stage presence and scarily precise fighting skills, it wasn't long before Adesanya very quickly became one of the most well-known names in the sport.
Why are Nigerians so clever? There's a work ethic, but there's also a cleverness to Nigerians.
I'm telling you, most Africans for laws.
Of his two favorite things, anime and Hollywood, can often be seen in his pre- and mid-fight antics. This quirk in his fighting style was discovered pretty early by a coach Adesanya met in a local Muay Thai gym. It was quickly revealed that he was a natural. According to Adesanya, the coach's face had lit up like he'd struck gold after seeing only his first roundhouse kick. Most fighters train for at least 2 or 3 years before they go on to compete in their first fight. Adesanya, on the other hand, needed only 6 weeks or so to prepare for his first fight, and the man still won.
And I was like, yo, this is cool. I don't know what this is. And then I found out it was Muay Thai. Found a Muay Thai gym. Then 6 weeks later, I had my first fight.
From there, it was only a matter of time before his fighting career took off. All he needed was YouTube and his unwavering dedication to learn every detail he could from the fighters he looked up to. He'd spend hours studying sports legends like pro Muay Thai fighter Bakao Banchamek and kickboxers like Thiago Alves or Ray Sifo in K1. The former UFC middleweight champ might just be the most beautiful striker the sport has ever had the privilege of seeing in action. Even at the highest of levels, a lot of the MMA pros can sometimes look sloppy and hard to watch. As the fight progresses and they advance onto later rounds, punches get wonky and kicks barely land. It's like watching a street-side puppet show. But oh boy, Adesanya, his strikes are precise, surgical, as sharp and clean at the end of the fight as they were at the start.
So you're calculating his movement.
Yeah, I'm not doing it this way. I'm doing it like,
internally.
It's muscle memory.
Yeah, right.
Memory.
The 6'4" pro fighter moves with the fluidity and precision of a Tekken character. His kicks almost defy the laws of physics, flaring up at one angle, ready to make a killer impact with their momentum, and then changing trajectory at the last second to catch you off guard and hit you where it hurts. You can't tell if he's fighting in the ring or performing another choreographed routine, but whatever it is, it leaves the audience gripping the edges of their seats, waiting to see what his next move will be. The secret to his insane body control and fluid strikes? One word: crumping. Young Izzy saw the 2005 David LaChapelle documentary Rise about this aggressive style of hip-hop dance and decided to add it to his long list of self-taught talents. According to Adesanya, the rawness of this particular dance style is what drew him in. This willingness to polish every skill to perfection while also being open to learning and borrowing from different disciplines might just be the key to his 23-2 MMA record. There's no denying that he's in a league of his own. Adesanya debuted in 2012 with a TKO win against James Griffiths.
It could be all over. Terry Hill coming in closely. And
big knee to the body.
And it's called Adesanya MMA Day.
And later went on to score another TKO against John Vacchi. The pro fighter took a 2-year break, but then returned to MMA in 2015 when he once again won by TKO against Chinese MMA fighter Song Kenan. What followed after this was an 8-0 record that he achieved fighting in mostly Oceanian and Chinese circuits. Once he joined the UFC in 2017, Adesanya showed everyone just what he was made of.
185-pound division is kind of crazy because they're promising if Stylebender fights Anderson, they're saying to Anderson, if you win, you get a title shot. Because did they offer Stylebender a title shot if he beats Anderson?
And my thought was, we know when Stylebender wins this fight because I really believe Stylebender's going to win that fight. When he wins this fight, he's not going to get that title shot.
This fight to me means more to me than the belt because of what's the significance of this fight. You know, he inspired me to feel like I can do this.
How much Israel proved is good for fight for Anderson Silva, but how much is staying in this game for a long time.
So yeah, the cat's out the bag. So I'm about to be champion 2019.
Let's go do the best fight in the world, the best fight for this card.
Me, this is, you know, the guy that I came up watching. So when I beat this guy, this is better than the belt to me. I could retire happy.
Israel Adesanya versus Anderson Silva, UFC 234. Initially meant to be a co-main event fight between rising star Israel Adesanya and UFC legend Anderson Silva, the bout got bumped up to become the main event when Whittaker versus Gastelum had to be cancelled due to the former being hospitalized the night before. What followed was a fight that left the crowd at the Rod Laver Arena in awe. It was a match that represented more than just a 3-round middleweight clash. Both fighters showed an incredible display of both physical strength and mental prowess with the way they fought in the ring. Everyone wanted to know how Izzy would face against a man with a 15-fight winning streak with 14 finishes. Well, Adesanya came away with a unanimous decision victory.
Unanimous decision, Israel
With the fight itself winning the Fight of the Night honor. The Spider was 43 when this bout took place and was clearly nearing the end of his MMA career. The sentimental hug both fighters shared at the end of the match almost felt like a passing of the torch moment.
You know, that was a fun fight. He's a crafty veteran. He's very talented. He's got knockout power. And if it went to the ground, he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu and is submitted. People are nuts counting him out. The kid's got it. I mean, he's got that. He's an interesting guy. He's fun to watch. And I think he's got a really bright future here.
I'm joined by the last style bender, Israel Adesanya, who fights this Saturday at UFC 230.
The key to beating Derek Brunson tonight is the same key as always. Just go in there, do me.
Unbeaten New Zealander Israel Adesanya faces top middleweight contender Derek Brunson.
He ignored me way back then in 2015. So that already shows me that he knew who I was.
Israel, you're skinny, bro. Hey, you better lift some weights, man. You're skinny as hell. I'm not worried about you. I'm an All-American wrestler.
I might be the ugliest, but I'll whoop your ass any day.
Is he had that speed? He still had that speed. He has not slowed down.
Israel Adesanya versus Derek Brunson, UFC 230. Adesanya had built himself a reputation by the time UFC 230 rolled around. Everyone he'd faced so far had to resort to their wrestling so they could match the stylebender's skills. UFC veteran Derek Brunson is arguably the best wrestler in the middleweight division. A lot of people believed that his fight against Adesanya would prove just how good he actually was. And he really did prove it. Every takedown attempt that Brunson made was met with quick aversions and strikes, leading Adesanya to score an amazing first-round TKO victory. This was the point where the UFC community changed their opinion of Adesanya drastically after his insane display of fighting skills against one of the best wrestlers in the division. People now believe that Adesanya was destined to become a champion. Take one look at his ever-evolving takedown defense, elite striking, and unbreakable confidence in himself. You'd agree too.
He got no wrestling, you know. He saw me fight Brad, said he's light work, but this was like a walk in the park. No. This was a walk in the garden. Madison, baby.
April 13th, I'm going to roll up with Kelvin. After Anderson Silva, I get a belt in my next fight, and I'm going to do that.
Not only that, let me say it's on April 13th, which is the day that I won the Ultimate Fighter Season 17. 6 years from now, Dana, you'll be giving me the belt.
When you visualize this fight, what do you see? What do you expect us to see on Saturday?
Expect me to just keep touching him. I keep touching him, and he'll keep trying to touch me.
Kelvin, put that belt down. Seriously, what you gonna do?
Israel Adesanya versus Kelvin Gastelum, UFC 236. UFC 236 was by far one of the best fights in UFC history, and quite possibly the best fight of 2019. The 5-round co-main event between Adesanya and Gastelum had high stakes, one being the interim middleweight championship title and another shot at undisputed gold against none other than Robert Whittaker. Kick from Gastelum left him and the crowd stunned. By the 5th round, it was still unclear who'd take the gold, but with only a few minutes left, the stylebender managed to dominate Gastelum. Adesanya was given a unanimous decision victory, making him the new UFC interim middleweight champion.
Is this the toughest fight of your career?
Nope.
Israel Adesanya and Robert Whittaker.
These are tough fights for me to pick. You know, I'm not a guy who plays the fence. Usually, if I'm favoring a guy, I'll tell you. But those are tough matchups.
I think Whittaker made some mistakes, and I don't think he'll do it again.
But I still feel like Adesanya is gonna take home the W.
Izzy obviously has a variety of tools that he uses in his fights.
6 fights in, and I'm the champ.
It's gonna be a huge fight. Those guys is amazing striking game. So, yeah.
Israel Adesanya versus Robert Whittaker, UFC 243. The main event took place in 2019 after Whittaker had come off back-to-back decision victories against Yoel Romero. Till this day, UFC 243 holds the record for highest attendance out of any UFC bout. Granted, most of them were Aussies who came to watch the Australian champ defend his belt, but Adesanya showed them a fight that had them at the edge of their seats. The Reaper took a violent start to the fight, which was unlike him, but the Nigerian managed to knock him flat in the final seconds of the first round. The crowd, both in the stadium and around the world, was left stunned. The Stylebender had just won a KO victory and become the new undisputed champion, making the dawn of a whole new era in the UFC middleweight division.
Man, it's honestly unreal. I've said this shit for so long. They said I don't have no knockout power. You too skinny, bro.
This is my first loss in the division. You know, trust me when I say I'm not going anywhere. I am fortunate enough that I didn't leave the octagon with any injuries, so I look to get back in there and get back to work.
Israel Adesanya versus Paulo Costa, UFC 253.
And march forward and absorb damage and just push a pace and break someone. It's going to be Costa, but this matchup is a little more tailor-made for Adesanya than people give him credit for. I mean, this is a guy, he is a sharpshooter. I think that this fight is tailor-made for Israel Adesanya.
Should we be talking more about your grappling, your jiu-jitsu background? Are we looking at this fight the wrong way?
Yes, this fight can be on the ground also.
Sucked as a grappler. Whenever he shoots, he loses his gas tank within the first or second shot.
I think Israel Adesanya, if Costa comes at him the way he has come at other fighters, I definitely go with Israel Adesanya.
I think Adesanya is going to win. That's my feeling. He's just going to outstrike him. He's a little slicker. He's going to move a little better. That's my feeling, but I wouldn't be shocked if I get it wrong.
I've been focused on the fight for this one. I haven't really thought about anything else because there's no fans. So I'm just focused on the fight for this one. I feel very dark. I feel like Jet being unleashed. So I want to get unleashed on this guy.
Adesanya is afraid. He just run. I will destroy him.
Damn, bro. You're going to need that when you get downgraded. I have a gift for you. I'm going to knock your ass out, bitch. Bitch. Well, I'm knocking your ass out.
Costa is an X factor. His physique, his strength, his power, his cardio, his chin, all of that is abnormal. So you put that in an octagon with anybody and
Before the fight, UFC President Dana White has said that the event would be a contender for Fight of the Year.
When you look at this fight stylistically, I picked this fight to be Fight of the Year.
And he wasn't wrong. This was Adesanya's second title defense and easily his best display of skill and prowess. The matchup had all the makings of an instant classic. Two undefeated fighters pitted against each other with a history of bad blood between them. With all that drama, suspense and violence, the crowd was in for a treat. Instead, what happened was Adesanya absolutely demolishing Costa in less than 2 minutes, and he made it look easy too. The Stylebender used his surgical precision to pick the Brazilian apart and land a TKO victory, while the Brazilian fighter barely managed to land a punch. This fight made the UFC community believe that Adesanya would remain the middleweight champion for a good while.
Costa is that good. And he's a savage and normally, but Adesanya shut him down tonight and absolutely put on a clinic and destroyed him.
His meteoric reputation as one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world even earned him a direct shot at the light heavyweight title. UFC 253 marked his 100th victory as a pro MMA fighter, with a record of 20-0. Legacy beyond the octagon. Adesanya has built a strong legacy that will outlast him. But it's not just about his fighting skills and physical attributes. There's a deeper layer to his success that he constantly points at, from everything comes from the imagination onward.
It was madness. It was me preparing for having a sports car. I was getting ready. I can manifest like a motherfucker. Everything comes from the imagination. So the power of the mind, people don't understand. We still don't understand. I still don't understand how powerful it is.
What sets him apart is the way he views and manages the whole fighting process. He has his post-fight shower.
I mean, that's what my post-fight shower is for. My post-fight shower is a time of reflection of what just happened, of the last
few hours, last few weeks, last few months.
Where he spends time reflecting on what he went through during the fight. Moreover, the way he sees and talks about the championship belts is refreshing, probably what lets him be unbothered and handle defeats like no other.
Well, I don't attach myself to this thing because it doesn't make me. I make the belt. The belt never made me. I make the belt.
He's a master of staying focused and rolling with the punches, which is evident by his comeback after each and every loss. Adesanya was a force to be reckoned with inside the cage, but even outside it, he inspired a new generation of fighters and fans. His journey from a scrawny little kid to becoming one of the most well-known names in the MMA world.
Win or lose, I wasn't going to say much anyway, but right now, I lost tonight to the better man on the night.
Has inspired countless people to believe in themselves. And of course, there's also his charisma, wit and commitment to his craft that's made him a role model for a global audience. You may argue that there's so many other fighters out there with the same qualities, but you know what sets Adesanya apart? It's not the fact that he wears pearls or watches anime. Sure, all that's endearing, but what really makes him stand out is that despite being in a sport where everyone's stereotypically supposed to be a mean, lean fighting machine, he chooses to be all that and vulnerable. That isn't to say he hasn't had his fair share of controversies and blunders. From the 9/11 remark to that one derogatory sexual comment on Instagram, he managed to redeem himself with an apology and reassurance to do better. But his last blunder might have been the cause of a turning point in his career. On 16th of November 2023, Adesanya found himself in hot water when he got pulled over for drunk driving in Auckland, New Zealand. The legal limit for alcohol consumption while driving in New Zealand is 50 milligrams per 100 milliliters of blood. Izzy was measured at a solid 87 milligrams, for which the punishment is up to 3 months of imprisonment. The stylebender was spared, however. During a hearing in January 2024, Judge Peter Winter fined him $1,500 New Zealand dollars, along with a 6-month driving suspension and enrollment in a stop-drink driving program. It was safe to say that the former UFC middleweight champ had hit a rough patch. The whole drunk driving fiasco happened just a few weeks before Adesanya lost the UFC middleweight championships in a massive upset against Sean Strickland in the main event at UFC 293. There were many speculations about what would be next for the last stylebender. A rematch with Strickland or even a grudge match with Dricus Du Plessis seemed like a possibility. But after losing his second UFC 185-pound title reign, Adesanya announced that he'd be taking a break. Izzy joked with reporters saying he wouldn't be back until 2027, and while he's since stepped out of the spotlight, fans continue to speculate about his future in the sport. The stylebender has talked about wanting to explore other ventures, and maybe even moving up in weight class or trying out a different combat sport. It makes everyone wonder if this really might be the end of an era, and if this might be the final time seeing him in the octagon. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, we have many more to come, so consider subscribing to stay up to date. Until next time.
Hey guys, what's up? Izzy here. Like, subscribe, and comment if you enjoy this video.